Guys, welcome back to the channel. I got another Civilization 7 video here playing on the PlayStation 5. And this one's going to be a little bit different. I told you guys, if you watched my prior Civilization 7 videos, this is my first playthrough of the game. I started as the Romans. And there's only 3 ages now. Like, there's only 3 eras. If you remember the old Civilization games, you used to have like the Renaissance era and the Industrial era and the Space Age. Apparently all that's gone now. We only have 3 eras: the Antiquity era, we have the Exploration era, and then we have the Modern era. That's it, just the 3. But I started out as the Romans in the Antiquity era, and then I went on to become the Spanish in the Exploration era, and then I became the Americans as the Modern age. And I kept Augustus as my leader the whole time. I think you have to. I don't know. I don't think you can switch leaders, but you can just switch your civilization as you go. So it's pretty interesting. You keep all your old buildings that you had prior to, but you have to switch. Like you make a new capital, so you'll rename one of your other cities the capital of whatever. Like I forget what I think Ravenna, is that the right one? One of these. I think Ravenna is what Washington D.C. is now, and you just change the name. Like I have Boston over here, so I got like some Spanish Las Palmas. And then we have New York City, we have Cleveland, and we go up Baltimore. As you can see, I also, if you watch my prior videos, I became pretty expansionistic and expanded all over the place a little bit. I got 21 cities. I can have 25, so I can take over a few if I want. But as you can see, the map is pretty filled up. I did pretty much reveal the entire map, but there is not a speck of land, really. It's like there's a little island right there with some horses on it. But... there's like no land left for us to occupy. So it's definitely like in-game, like the final frontier here. But anyways, to get into it also, every time you switch to the new age, like you go from antiquity to exploration to modern, your troops that you had in the prior one are automatically upgraded to the first tier of the next age. So it kind of does away, I mean, you can still upgrade your troops when you're playing in the age, but if you look at the upper left corner, you see that trophy. That's like your achievements kind of thing, but I think it's called the legacy. Once that fills up to 100%, you move on to the next era. I'm not sure what's going to happen when it hits 100% now, because this is the modern age, so I'm assuming nothing, or maybe that's the end of the game. I'm not even sure. But anyways, guys, it's been very fun. Like I said, I think they no, I don't want to say dumbed it down, but I think they made it more or less complex. Even the diplomacy is pretty simple and straightforward. Let me click on somebody here. And that's another funny thing. You see Napoleon, he's the leader of the Russian civilization. Now, the computer also changes their civilizations as they go. Obviously, Napoleon started as the French leader. And for some reason, when he moved up to the next age, he became the Russian civilization. And there is somebody else, like I think it was like the Chinese or somebody, became the French civilization. So it's weird how they do with the leaders, because I keep calling him the French, but he's actually the Russians. But you can see he's angry at me. We can go over and we can see his relationship. He's hostile and -90. And it's pretty much, we've been pretty positive because we haven't been at war or anything. But you can see he's mainly mad at me because we have opposed ideology, which is pretty realistic, because that's pretty much what we fight about in the real world, right? Our ideologies are different, so we got to go to war and hate each other. So yeah, I got -432 just because opposed ideologies. The other one is because apparently I did some espionage on him and he figured it out. And then we'll go over, and it says he's an authoritarianism. That's what his government is. And then you go over here, and his ideology is communism. Okay, I'm democracy, he's communism, so it makes sense we hate each other. But it's funny that we have Napoleon, which is kind of like a big dictator, that a lot of people, I don't know how to explain. Napoleon's one of them characters, like he's like a bad guy, but then at the same time, a lot of people are like he was a great leader, but he was a bad leader. I don't know, he's one of those people. Like people will be like, some people thought he was like the devil, like the Antichrist and shit too. So I don't know, it's weird. Napoleon's a weird character. But it's funny that he was, this great like emperor of like France or like ruler, and then he's a communist Russian leader on here. It's just kind of weird how that worked out. But authoritarianism. So that's why he hates me. I have different ideologies. Now, I was going to show also, you can see I can't do a lot of things with him because we don't like each other. I can do reconciliation with him, which will help improve our relations. But since our ideologies are so different, unless one of us turns to democracy or communism, it'll probably be hard to get over our issues there. But you see I can do sanctions on him. Right now I can't because it says I already have an instance of that running. I also have espionage running on somebody else, so I can't show you those ones. But espionage is basically what you think it is. You steal their research, you cause rebellions in their cities, you disrupt their progress, that kind of thing. That's pretty simple. And then we'll go to somebody that likes me. Mostly everybody hates me. Like she hates me too. Let's see why she hates me. She's 234 opposed to my ideologies. So again, it's mainly ideology, but I tried to do espionage on her and she found out and hates me because of that. So it's those two things. She's a bureaucratic monarch, okay? And she's also communism. So that's why she hates me too. So we got two communists, a lot of communism going on here. Let's check this guy out. He also hates me, of course. He's the leader of the Qing civilization. Again, 414 opposed ideologies, and he also revealed espionage. Damn, my spies aren't very good. Everybody finds out about him. He's a bureaucratic monarch like the other one was, and he's a fascist. So again, communism, fascism, these are things that in life I've always been told are not good things. But anyways, I'm not gonna debate and argue with anybody what they feel because it's not my place. But just looking at these, it's fun kind of see. Now this guy likes me. Okay, and how much you want to bet he's probably a Democratic or something? He's got to be somebody, maybe some type of progressive or I don't know, a liberal or something. But anyways, you can see I have different things I can do with them. I can do cultural exchange. And as you look up at the top upper left corner, you see I have a ton of influence. I have 10,000 influence points. If you don't know what that is, if you see my gold coins, I have 40,000 gold right next to that. That little globe looking thing is my influence. I have 10,000 points. And then you see I have science 456, my culture 810, my happiness 874. And then the next one is how many cities I have, 21 to 25 I can have. But I want to improve my trade relations. So I have a ton of this stuff. I can send him aid. But who wants to send him gold? I don't want to. Well, it will be nice. We'll send him all gold. I'm not going to send him all my gold. We'll send him 50 gold just to be buddy with him, even though who cares. So we'll send him a little aid. And then we can do sanctions. Again, I can't do espionage on anybody because, I was going to look at his ideology to see what he is. So our relationship status is helpful. We're at 90. It says the previous age we're negative 60. We had problems back in the day. It says my agenda is they don't like my agenda. I got negative 229 because of my agenda, and they revealed espionage from me. Okay, I have a trade route with them, but we have a shared ideology, so it means they're probably Democratic. They have endeavor with no leader, blah, blah, blah. So let's look. What did it say he was over here? He's an authoritarianism. Okay, so that's not great either. But he is democracy ideology. His agenda is increase relationship with leaders, and the same ideology, decrease relationship with players indifferent. So he's probably hated by everybody too, because me and him share the same thing. Everybody else seems to hate us, except for, let's see. We have one more friend maybe over here. Another thing, it's hard to get this controller to, when you're trying to play. Where's our other friendly? He has like 2 cities. There's 4 cities, I think, right here. Jose, the Mughal civilization. Okay, he's unfriendly towards us, so he doesn't like us. He has opposed ideology, so he's something a little bit different. Bureaucratic monarch, and he's a fascist also, so he's not really that great. But we're not hostile, we're just unfriendly. So yeah, a lot of communism, fascism leaders around here. There's only 2 of us that believe in democracy. So that explains why everybody hates us. So looking at it this way, once I go to war with somebody, I'm probably going to have all these communism and fascists go to war against us, me at least. So it's as simple as that. As soon as you change your ideologies, everybody either hates you or like you, depending on what they are. I don't know if there's like an espionage or some way you can tweak them to go the other way to try to have them become democratic or have them become fascist, whatever you want to play as, or communist. But something I do hate, not jumping over there, something I do hate though, is when they build cities. Like we have Napoleon, he built a city between I have all my cities right here, and then I expanded over here, but he just built a city right there, and then the asshole builds another city right there. I absolutely hate when somebody builds a city between my other cities when I could just have them all connected. You know what I mean? So I'm going to target him. I'm going to go to war with him. That's the first one I want to take out. But him, you know, I think he's the only communist, right? Or no, there's 2 communists and 2 fascists, and then 2 Democrats. So 2 democracy. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens when I go to war. I would like to do that, but like I said, the game keeps crashing, so I can't really talk about the game. I just want to say, guys, it's very fun. Even if you're new to the Civilization games, it's absolutely fun to get into it. It's very easy to learn. Like I said, I haven't played it in years and years, and I noticed the differences from the old games I played right away. Like another thing is, you used to have workers that you'd have to bring on the map to help improve the tiles and the resources. Now you don't have to do that. When you upgrade your city, you automatically just select a tile and it automatically upgrades for you when your city grows. So you don't have to worry about it. Another big difference with this compared to the old ones I played is you start out with cities and towns. So obviously towns are smaller than cities, but your city is your capital you start out with. It's the very first city you found. And then everything you found after that's a town, and you have to upgrade them to a city in order to use like turns as progress. Like every few turns you develop your cities. In order to do that, you have to turn them into towns, and that costs gold. But if you leave them as towns, all their points, all the stuff they generate is gold, and it goes straight to you. So if you leave them as towns, there's actually a strategic benefit if you need gold to do that, but you're not going to be able to make them progress as fast. If they were cities, you could get them to upgrade and become bigger and larger faster. Just depends on how you want to play the game. Now, I played it and pretty much just upgraded like the Antiquity Age. I pretty much left everything towns except for a few. I just had a couple cities like my capital and maybe one other. Then the Exploration Age, I upgraded a couple more to cities, because every age, also to tell you this, your capital is the only one that stays the city is whatever you select as your capital. Everything else goes back to a town every age. So when you're Antiquity, if you upgrade any of them to cities, they're all going to get dropped back down to towns except for your capital on the next age, and then so forth. The same thing with the Modern Age. So you're going to have to re-upgrade them to towns, but all the stuff that you put on them, like if you put walls or granaries or castles or whatever, wonders, whatever you built on these cities at the time will stay there, so you don't lose them. And they have something else called like overbuilding. I guess you build on top of tiles that have already been built on. So let's say you have a tile for like, I don't know, factories, and then you want to build like I don't know, like there's urban tiles, and then there's like, there's different tiles. I don't know how to explain it, but you can turn those tiles, you can build multiple items on one tile. Like if you wanted to have one that was like farming, you had like granary, then you had like farming lands or whatever, stuff like that, or you had factories and like an aerospace place or something. I don't know. You get the idea. So that's different too. I don't remember overbuilding being a thing, but that kind of makes it easier to put a lot more on the tiles and get more out of it. What else have I noticed? Yeah, but the big thing is basically that I think that I explained the troops also. I don't know if I mentioned that already, that every age when your troops automatically upgrade. I think I already mentioned that, but I'll just say it again in case I didn't. Like every age also, let's say like I started with legions as a Romans, and in the next age, I believe my legions automatically upgraded to conquistadors as the Spanish, like something like that, one of the conquistador type units. And it also does that for the computer. So the computer also, when they upgrade, when you go to the next age, they also, all their troops upgrade as well. So it's kind of like so they ain't left behind. It makes the game a little bit more difficult. That way you can't, well, it can be difficult or less difficult depending on your experiences. But like a lot of the times I would be so far ahead of the computer and research and stuff that I'd have like tanks and they'd still have spearmen. Shit like that isn't going to happen anymore, because every time the age upgrades, everybody upgrades, right? So it's different. Another thing is, when you start the game, you have like little villages. Like this is something interesting too. I'll mention that in a minute. But you have like this one right here. Shit, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, you see this little like Geneva. It's like a city state. Now you have a bunch more. It seems like they disappear as time goes. I don't know if they're just destroyed or taken over. But you have like Geneva down here. Now, a thing with them too, like you have like when you first start out in the antiquity age, you have like little barbarian encampments and things like that. Encampments are, it explains to you, that are always hostile towards you no matter what. But you also have like city states that can be friendly or hostile, but you can have them become friendly with you. You can basically absorb them eventually if you're friendly enough, or they can help you against other people, things like that. But it doesn't seem like I had a lot of time in the antiquity age to really build up a relationship with a city state. So I can't say much about this. Now, this is interesting right here next to you. You see Moscow. Now, I'm not sure what's going on here, but you see that there apparently is a rebellion taking place, and I don't know who owned Moscow. I'm assuming the people that are playing the Russians had a city down here, and then it was unhappy. But you see it has a question mark or an exclamation mark with a leader as a shadow. So I don't know if that means like it's just going to go to one of the random leaders that are already in the game, or if another leader that hasn't been a part of the game can actually take that. Like we'll just have a new leader there, and then we have another civilization to deal with. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of realistic in like real life, where you have governments being overthrown and then they're establishing new ones, or like when wars happens, like sort of like North and South Korea, where they split from like one Korea to South and North, and you have other countries that are East and West, like just separated from whatever reasons. I'm not sure if that's what's going on there with Moscow. I don't know if I'll find out before the end of the game, but that's interesting if that can happen. And also, you can see that I played the archipelago. I don't know how you say it, but you know what I'm talking about. It's basically when like there's more like island nations and things like that. It's big islands that connect. I kind of like this more than like the one single landmass or whatever. Because I'm kind of like I'd prefer just to have an island rather than this, but I can't remember what the options were. I said it in the first video when I went through it, but I did enjoy playing this map. It's going to be a totally different experience playing on another one. Another thing I noticed when you start out in the game, you don't have all the civilizations unlocked when you're playing through. Like you have to do certain things. I don't know exactly what, if it's just like random. But like one of the things, I had to find a bunch of jade, and I found a bunch of jade resources. And once I had like 3 or 4 of them, I unlocked the Qing Dynasty civilization. And then another one I did, I think it was something that like mountain ranges or something. I unlocked the Incan civilization. So there's a bunch of them. I can't remember the other one that I unlocked like 3 or 4 civilizations this run through. So I'm thinking there's probably more that I can unlock as I play through. But that was interesting because I don't remember it ever being like that, like where you're just unlocking new civilizations as you're playing. And you can also become them if you unlock them, like the next age, like if I went to the exploration age, the Qing Dynasty or whatever was there. But I think I pretty much explained it. Like I said, I would like to play and show you. I'm going to try to do another video anyways and see if I don't crash. But I at least want to get this out there and just let you guys know that it is a fun game. This was like a pre-order release. I paid, I think it was like $100 just to get it an extra, extra week or something early or whatever, extra 5-6 days, whatever the hell it is early. But I want to at least tell you guys, if you're debating on if you want to play it, I want to at least show some game footage. I know some people get this game like a month early or some shit and play it, but sometimes they're not always the best to listen to because they get paid for that shit. I don't get paid. I waste all my money buying shit like this, and then I'm like, hey, I'll let everybody else know what I think, if it sucks or if it's good. But anyways, I definitely recommend this. Like you can see from my gameplay footage that I'm new to it as well. The problem I'm only facing is the crashing. I'm thinking they're going to fix that. They're going to make it where it keeps crashing all the time. It kind of reminds me of other games that were usually on the PC, such as, what's the other game I really like? I can't even think of it right now. I don't know. There's another game that I mentioned before, Bannerlords, the second one or whatever, that they put on the PS5. One of my favorite games, but it crashes. It doesn't anymore, but it crashed like the first 2-3 years it was on the PS5. It would crash all the time. It had all these issues. But hopefully it doesn't take what is it, Fire Axis? Who makes this game? I can't even remember. The people that make Civilization. Hopefully, it doesn't take them as long to get out the bugs on the PS5. I'm thinking the PC is probably good though, but the consoles will probably have some bugs. Yeah, but I blabbed on long enough, guys. I just want to say it is a great game. I wish I could show you more footage. I didn't even get to really get into a big war yet. I had a few little skirmishes. I do still want to try to take. I mean, I'm going to attack the French. I just don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't know if it'll bug out while I'm halfway through the video or something. But yeah, worth checking out, man. Worth. I think it's $70, man. They keep putting the price up on these games. I mean, I remember when they used to be like $40 or, $20 and then $40 and then, $50. And now there's $60 and $70. I think it's $70, $69.99 on the PlayStation Store for just a basic copy that comes out on February 11th, I believe. So what is this, the 7th, I think? 6th, or this is 7th, I believe. It came out on the 6th. So we got, like 4 days or something, 3-4 days. I'm a little confused on the date because I started playing this at midnight because I was like, I got to check it out right away. And then, of course, I had to do my stuff during the day, and then I was able to play a little bit more. But I don't know, guys. I think you could definitely get a lot of good hours out of this. $70 is steep for any game, but I love Civilization, so I was willing to drop 100 on it. Yeah, that's it, man. Check out this game. I'll try to get. I want to at least do one more video if I can of the gameplay, but if not, I just want to say, yeah, this is a great game again, and again. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you're into these type of games. This is probably the only game like this. Is the only type of like turn-based strategy games that I like. Like, there's a lot of them out there nowadays. There's some, what's it called, the Kings something. I don't know. There's a few of them that I got, but none of them are quite like Civilization. And this one always been special to me because this is like one of the few like this I'll play. I'm more into like Total War games and things where you have like it's real-time strategy, but then there's also turn-based. You got to move around, then you go to the actual map and fight. That's more of my playthrough, but this has always been one of the close ones to me. I think Romance of the Three Kingdoms similar, but I didn't really play much of that. Though I love like the Three Kingdoms and Dynasty Warriors and things like that. But Romance of the Three Kingdoms is one that's, I think, similar to like city building and diplomacy and all that, but I don't know if there's really much battle. It might be similar to this, but that might be an interesting to try out sometime. Anyways, guys, I talk too damn much. I'll talk to you guys soon. Watch my other videos. Like and subscribe, please. I'll try to get more content out there for you guys. Do the best I can. This is all just my opinion as well. Try the shit out for yourself. I wish they'd make more demos. You know what I mean? They don't do demos as much anymore. There's a few on there, but I don't think there's a Civilization 7 demo. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching.